want to say your little joke right now? Or your little joke yet?
Hold on.
Or
I gotta announce our sponsor. This is
You just make Coach Forte's day, that's for sure.
we're a basketball podcast, but we're not very serious. We like to be humorous, and we get the information out that we need to get out.
Perfect. Right to business. Right to business.
So you ain't gotta be professional. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I like it.
Welcome back to the Same Podcast. My name is Craig Smith. Back here with my guy, Mr. Texas Recruited, Chris. We've got a big time DFW legend, D1 head coach, or D1 assistant at St. Louis University, Phil Forte. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you guys for having me. Feel like I've made it now that I've made it onto this little podcast, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here, man. Glad to have you here. Go ahead and hit him with what you want to hit him with.
All right, man. The first thing we're gonna get out there, man, is you have to tell us about the moments you shared with Marcus Smart at the NBA Finals, man.
I'm talking about at the end, like when it was over and everything.
Yeah, the photo that I saw, was the one sitting on the ground.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just a lot, like everything kind of coming together at once. Everything just had happened so fast, and it was a very emotional year. Playoffs, at one point they were the 9 seed, and everyone's looking around like, they're not gonna make the playoffs. And then, they make the playoffs, and it almost seems like every game they were supposed to win to clinch it, they would lose. They have like a game 6 at home, like, all right, they're gonna clinch it, they lose, and they go on the road to game 7 and end up winning. So it was just a huge roller coaster throughout really the whole season. And then you get that close, when it just all kind of comes crashing down. You're riding that emotional high all season, all postseason, and then you're on home court and you're seeing Steph and Draymond and Clay holding up the trophy like 20 feet from you, like it's right there, and so I think it just had. I mean, you guys know Marcus; he's the ultimate competitor, and we just like literally he just kind of broke down. And it's just him. That's been his dream ever since he's little. You get to play in NBA Finals. You're that close. You never know when or if you're going to be back. I think they will, but you just never know. And I think it just hit him. And that he was that close to winning a championship, and just just kind of felt that with him. Just everything from even 3rd grade, 4th grade, but now he's on the biggest stage, and just like it was almost a surreal moment. And for him, is just his competitive nature, man. He just hates losing, and to be that close, and maybe one game turns that whole series, and it could have been a different outcome. So you learn from it, like anything, that's kind of been the story of his life. He's never had the easy route, and if I had to guess, I'd say they'll make it back there at some point again.
Yeah, they just made 2 big time acquisitions too.
Yeah, so, which will help for sure. That'll help a lot. So, yeah.
Alex, Chris. Marcus, you played with Coach Forte as a soul. I just kind of wanted you to share a little bit of your experience of just playing on a team like Texas Soul, playing at Flower Mound Market, and then y'all going to college together. Just kind of elaborate on what it's like to be a Dallas and Texas coaches, like guys that are actually from the area come back. So those are just a couple questions I have for you.
Yeah. No, I was very fortunate to play with one good players. To play alongside a lottery pick since 3rd grade is, you're very fortunate to do that. Marcus made me probably look a little better than I was. But I mean, playing at Marcus, we had Coach Henderson. He's one of best coaches I've ever played for, no doubt. And like I said, same about Vaughn, and not just him as a coach, but how he runs his program. I think it speaks for itself. He does a great job. They run it the right way. So I was around good basketball, high school, AAU, and so year round, I was in a good situation. And I think the unique thing in both of them was really, we didn't really change teams. So high school, kind of the same, group. We added a piece here or there. Our AAU team was literally our high school team almost. Our top 4 players, all went to the same high school. And so it was great. I mean, I was around my best friends growing up during the summer, AAU, high school, all that on the same team. So it was a great situation, probably, especially high school, the run that we had. Is something that Firemount, Texas had never seen before. And, those are probably some of the best moments that I've had. Even Oklahoma State, take that. But just that ride that we had those 3 years in high school was something that'll, I guess I thought it would never be done again until Duncanville High School came along. But it definitely won't be done again in Flower Mound, that's for sure.
Hey, man. So it's the summertime, but it doesn't mean that it's you take vacation and all that. There's nothing pretty about it. I mean, you're always busy as a college coach, and I guess after the season you go right into recruiting. And you're probably on the road a lot. Talk to me about the process that y'all go through as far as getting everyone on the right page and what y'all's needs are.
Yeah, it's been a crazy few months for us. We're down an assistant right now. We're trying to fill an assistant spot and a basketball operations position. So we're down 2 spots right now. Trying to recruit, trying to run workouts, trying to keep our team here together. And then, going out on the road and, trying to fill a roster for 2023. So it's been a crazy summer. Compared to most, it's almost like 2 separate segments. So you finish your season and, you hit the portal or whatever right away. What do you need for your needs, or what are your needs for 22 or whatever that current next season is? And it's changed so much. Like when I was in high school, there was no portal like there is now. And, even when I was playing Oklahoma State, you bring in 1 or 2, maybe late, and your coaches take off, you're on vacation, and you get ready for summer and all that. And now it's completely different. You do almost a bulk of your recruiting in the spring, I guess, depending on how many you lose or, what you need to fill. But the hard part for us was all our returners all our starters were coming back. And so when we went to the portal, we were trying to, balance a roster of, not much turnover. And, we picked up 2 really, really big time additions who are basically starters for us. And they'll help us a lot. But for us, we spent most of May trying to make sure that we were going to keep our guys. Those were the most important recruits for us, was to make sure that we kept our core and our nucleus together. And if we did that, we knew we'd have a chance to be pretty good. And so we did. We had a great group. Luckily, they stayed together. But yeah, you got to communicate. There's a lot going on. You're almost more busy in the off season, than you are when you have your schedule and you're playing games during the regular season. So it's just changed. The landscape's different than it used to be. I think everyone's still trying to get used to it a little bit. But yeah, it's been a crazy summer for us, especially being down 2 spots. So everyone's kind of had to pick up, a little bit of work here or there and wear more hats than usual.
Phil, there's a question that I get asked a lot. I think it's something that I try to answer for as many people. So I'm going to ask you, since you are a D1 assistant coach, or when you go out recruiting, what are the things that you're looking at?
Yeah, it's very cliche. Everyone I think always will give you the general, plays hard, good teammate, stands up on the bench. But I do think it's, you obviously you want talent. There's no doubt about that. But, especially when you start, your pecking order of, when you start trying to figure, okay, who's your number one option? Who's your number two option? That's when you start to get really detailed. For me, it's about the little things. I'm really big on that, and maybe to a fault. When I'm out recruiting, all those little things do matter. And for me, like when I go to Coach Ford, that's going to be a difference. Hey, I take player A because of, he does talk. He is in the gym. He won 2 state championships. Like that stuff matters. Winning matters. And did they transfer high schools 5 times in 5 years? I think that matters. Some people may get mad at me for saying that, but that's not always true. Every story, every situation is different. But like those are things that I do look at, when recruiting and being around Coach Ford. I know what he wants. Guys that are tough, that are about the right things, and I think toughness wins. Even if there's a little less talent there along the way, I think the toughness will eventually come out and overcome any natural ability that's in high school. I'll take a kid that's a little less talented, but I know that he's going to work. He's going to get in the gym. I mean, those are the kids I want to pull up to the office with every day. I'm going to roll with. When we're playing at Dayton, at VCU, things get hard. And, those are the guys that I want, out there for us when, we're trying to play and we're in tough situations like that. So nothing crazy, but I don't take those winning qualities for granted, no matter really what position I'm trying to evaluate.
Thanks for answering that.
Yeah.
I got another one for you. What advice would you give? So on Twitter, there's a lot of AAU coaches that think their players should be getting recruited.
Sure.
And I mean, they'll tell you, they'll let you know. What kind of advice would you have? what kind of advice would you have for coaches that can't fathom why their kids aren't being recruited?
I think every situation is a little different. You have with AAU and everything, you have the circuit stuff, you have the independence, and so if you go play on EYBL, like naturally you are going to get more attention just because that circuit, it just does. I mean, draws most attention out of all of them, and the other 2 ones as well. But I think I think winning matters. I think if you continue to win, no matter what circuit you are on, you're going to be seen. Coaches are going to go watch the championship game. Coaches are going to go watch the Final Fours. They don't want to go watch consolation bracket in the back gym. I'm not. Some other coaches might. But if you keep winning, your coaches are going to show up. And for example, I'm not going to say too much, but there's a kid we're recruiting right now. The team he plays on is stacked. He has maybe some of the most talent in the country, but he's one of the smallest kids out there on the court. But he talks, he's vocal, he's the toughest kid, he's a winner, and those are the kids. He stood out, and I wasn't even going to watch the kid. I was watching somebody else, and he just happened to stand out. And but I think winning helps. Whether it's your high school, whether it's your summer league. I think if you do that enough, then it'll show. And because when you win, good teams have good players. And so I think at the end of the day, as long as you're winning, I think that'll help take care of some of that. Again, every situation is different. That's not always the case, but winning definitely helps for sure.
So you think that winning at the AAU level, it's not
100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, I'll be honest. That's half the reason I got recruited. We won, the Adidas deal back to back. So, I mean, we're in the championship 2 years in a row, went to 2 state championships. Like, if I'm on a losing team, I don't end up at Oklahoma State. That's a fact. I know that. And so, I do think it matters. I do. Especially for a guy like me that's not as talented. I got to, make up for it somewhere else. So, winning.
I want to hear it.
Winning.
You scored almost.
Matters.
You scored almost 2,000 points.
Also had 2 point guards that played in the NBA. That helps.
I don't want to hear
that helps. And a coach that let me shoot almost any shot I wanted. That helped too.
Because you were making it.
Phil, I'll talk about that for a second. there's like I've got a 12-year-old son. I watch this podcast. There's kids in high school watching this podcast, and let's be honest.
Yeah.
5'11", white kid. And you met Oklahoma State. You average 14, 15 points a game over a career there. State championships. Playing in top tier Adidas. Like, give some younger kids some advice about maybe just like your work ethic growing up, whether it was from like middle school, high school, college, just experience of that.
Yeah. I always said if everybody worked as hard as I did, then I wouldn't have played. I would have had no shot. And growing up out of high school, I knew the odds of me playing Division I basketball were in my favor. And the only way to overcome that was I had to outwork everybody. And just advice to anybody that's trying to get on that level is just don't be afraid to be different. And that's not easy, but just be different. And winning is different, and there's only one winner. There's not multiple. It's hard to win. It's hard to get a scholarship, and you have to do things that aren't normal in order to achieve those things. And so, do you want to go out with your friends and stay up till midnight, or do you go to bed early at 9 o'clock so you can get up and get some shots up, work out, whatever, before school? Like, and it's no one's gonna be mad at you if that's not what you do. That's fine. But if don't expect to go play at that high level if you're not willing to make that sacrifice. And sure, every kid's situation is different. There's some kids that are more naturally gifted than others, and you can't control that. You can only control what you can control. But if that's something that anyone, whether you're a high school kid, you're middle school, whatever, you're gonna have to do the different. And that clock ticks fast. Before you know it, it's over. We all have buddies that look back and say, dang, I wish I would have done more. We're all around them. I got teammates, friends that have, and it goes quick. So, but you have to do the different. It has to be consistent, and when you get your time, I'm a big believer in this. What are you doing in your hour? Are you going to the gym, walking around, or shooting a couple balls, or are you really actually doing something productive? And I'll tell our guys this, like, you can go lock yourself in the gym for 5 hours, but what are you doing? When I work our guys out, I only go 45 minutes, but we go really, really hard. So it's also taking advantage of your time and getting something out of it when you're in there. But it's not easy. If it were easy, then there would be way more Division I scholarships out there. It's only a slim percentage to get a play. So if you want to be the 1-2% of high school kids that go play college basketball at Division I level, then you're going to have to do a lot of things that are not normal and require going above what's the minimum, the average. And just going to your practice isn't enough. Just going to open gym isn't enough. Like, if you want to be a good high school player, sure, that's fine. And I would say we have the same message to our guys now. Everyone's doing individuals. Everyone's going to weights. Everyone's doing conditioning. Go to every team's Twitter page. They are posting pictures of them running, working out, lifting, all these cool highlight videos. Everyone's doing it, but like the before to after, what else are you doing to get ahead? Now everyone's doing the same thing in Division I basketball. Kentucky, Davidson, UTA, Duke, don't matter. They're all doing the same thing at the same hours. But what are you doing extra outside of that, is what takes the teams, the players, whatever, to a different level. So high school, college, it's kind of the same message, but whether you want to win a championship, whether you want to be all conference player of the year, get a scholarship, you have to go above and beyond. It's not easy, but that's just what it takes if that's something that you want to achieve.
Absolutely.
Talk about how much time do you think you spent in the gym when you were in high school?
I was a little different. And it wasn't just one of those, I go to the gym twice a day for an hour each. There'd be times I would spend, I go to the gym 4 times a day or do 4 different types of workouts, whether it was 2 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. It got to the point, my parents growing up, they're almost like, we're kind of worried, like this kid needs to get a life. It's just, it was, I was in middle school, and it's Friday, I think 7th, 8th grade. And we have a middle school dance, and at that time, it's like the thing. It's the first time, you have middle school dance. And I didn't want to go. I wanted to go to the gym. And my parents were like, no, you're going to go to the dance. You need to go. And so I'm like, okay, go to the dance. My mom comes to pick me up, and I'm drenched in sweat, soaked. She's like, Philip, what'd you do? That's so. And I was like, I went and shot in the gym the whole time. I didn't even go to the dance. Like mentally, that was my mindset. And I just, when parents ask, what'd you do? Is this a lot? And I just was constantly in the gym. And you see that Kobe interview where it talks about why he wakes up at 4 a.m. And it's if you do 4 workouts every day for if he's done it for 5 years, well, now the guy that's trying to do, you can't catch him. And so it's just that every single day of working out 3 or 4, it adds up eventually. And, especially when it comes to shooting, it's just muscle memory, shot after shot after shot after shot. And it got to that point. Parents, how many shots did you shoot? How many? Like I got in college, I couldn't even bend my wrist. Like I'd have to ice my wrist down my last year just because it's tendonitis of that constant shooting motion. I don't play anymore. My wrist doesn't hurt, so just I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I had to do it a different way. And I just wasn't going to let anything really come in between that. And, you hear the too short, too small, too this, too slow, and it was just more fuel to the fire for me. And, I was just going to find a way. And I was fortunate, my dad was really, really hard on me growing up. And so that definitely helped. And, played with good players, had good coaches too, which helped me out a lot. So, but yeah, I was in the gym all the time. There wasn't a set. If I had any free time, I was in there bouncing a ball and getting up some sort of shooting workout, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. You played for Travis Ford at Oklahoma State. Now you're coach for him at St. Louis. What is that like, man?
Wow, his stuff got soft, man. The stuff he lets our guys get away with, he wouldn't let me get away with when I was playing for him. That's the first thing. I guess it comes with age. But it's been great. He's been family to me. His wife, his parents, they've been family. Even when I left to go to Sam Houston, we always talked, and I've always felt that I owed him everything and beyond because he was really the one coach, especially at the Power 5 level, that really, really believed in me and got me to feel like he genuinely believed in me and as a player and just me, and not because I was best friends with Marcus Smart, but knew that I could have success at that level and gave me an opportunity and to play and ran stuff for me, got me better, and somehow made this little midget all conference Big 12 player. And so he's been amazing to me, not just on the court, off the court. So to come back work for him, not a hard transition at all. I'm very fortunate to work with the guy that I play for and have a great relationship with. So it's a great situation for sure. It's been great being back here in St. Louis, working with him and being around him and his family again.
I got to figure y'all probably have to have a pretty unique, special relationship.
Yeah, no, it is. We've been through a lot, whether playing and obviously what happened 2 summers ago with the passing of his nephew, and just a lot of things have brought us closer together. And so it's bigger than basketball for sure. And winning a few games along the way always helps, but We have a great staff. We do. We have a great situation here. Everyone, for the most part, has worked or played for Coach Ford. I think all except for one or two. Whether it was a manager, whether as a player, everyone's been around him some way, shape, or form. And no, I think that speaks volumes. If your people that you're around are willing to keep coming back and work for you. So that's the other thing I'll say about him is, once you're one of his, I mean, he'll do whatever he can to help you.
This is a question I got from a parent on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the long-term impact of recruiting from the portal or recruiting at the high school level has to do with like the philosophy of the head coach?
Yes. And I think every year is probably different. Every situation obviously depends what your roster looks like. But absolutely, like even for us right now, we're going to be really good this year. Should be, knock on wood, we stay healthy and the coaches don't mess it up. We're going to lose a lot though. We're going to lose a lot. And we're going to go out and sign a good amount of high school kids to come in and develop and keep them within our program. Everyone gets caught up in the portal. High school kids have been our best players, and when they have them 3-4 years, they get to play early. Yeah, you'll take a couple licks your first year, but you get that experience, and then by the time you're a sophomore, junior, you're an all-conference player. And like right now, we got 3-4 guys that have played significant minutes or started for 4 years. And that's why we're at where we are now. And so that's how we're handling the portal this year. But every coach and staff is different. We just do coach does a great job of individual work and that being the foundation of our program. And so, yeah, every staff's different, but we have a lot of value. And we call it sweat equity and just having players in your program, in your system where it means something. When you throw on that jersey and you go play a game and where it means something to be, a Billiken or, wherever you're at. So that's how we're doing it. Everyone's different, but absolutely it depends on your head coach's philosophy and kind of what they want to do and how they're directing the program.
Craig, you wanna say your little joke right now? Or your little joke yet?
Hold on. I gotta announce our sponsor. This is
You just made Coach Ford's day, that's for sure.
Hey man,
that's great. Hey, I'd never seen it until I got to Oklahoma State. It's like my junior year, and they were talking about, you see the Sixth Man?
Oh man,
I've never seen the movie.
Dude, that's one of my. That's top 5. That's top 5 basketball movie for me, man.
It's a good movie. It's funny.
My brother-in-law bought it for me for Christmas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, he loved. I mean, that's every when kids come on campus, it's a great conversation starter. Just the Sixth Man, and to see him in that role is the best part, though. Just like the goofy little, small kid. Yeah. And we always joke with Coach and be like, yeah, well, at least they're playing the part right. Unathletic guy, couldn't really jump, everything. At least they got that right. That's funny though. Yeah, he had made his night for sure.
That was a really good, popular movie. But I'm a little older than both of y'all.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I love it.
We plugged it in sometimes, like on bus trips, and the guys get a kick out of it. You see him with that little red hair, running around. Yep. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny.
I gotta ask one more question.
Yep.
So pretend. Well, I don't know if you need to pretend. What would a typical day or week look like for a player that is in y'all's program?
Like right now during the summer.
Well, no,
they kind of vary a little bit. Like
during the season.
During the season, we got school, everything up and running. Yeah. usually we have breakfast with our guys in the morning. There's usually a lift that obviously depends on our game schedule. And we'll play twice a week. So we usually try to get 2 to 3 lifts in, when we can. So lifting groups will be in the morning anywhere from 8 to 10. And we have our breakfast right there, which is kind of come and go as you please, depending on your lift time. So our guys have lifted and eaten all before probably 9 o'clock. We go to class. That obviously varies depending on class schedule. About half our guys will try to get a workout in between their classes with a coach, GA, whoever. And then, if we got a game, we'll bring our guys up for film. We usually divide that up by, if you're 4 or 5 guys, you try to kind of keep consistently based on, position. Like, I have the point guards, someone's got the wings, the other coach has the bigs. And you're bringing them up in the season every day, really every day, because turnovers quick. You have scouts and you're trying to break down the game you just played. Then you got to move on to the personnel or whatever, and we'll just clip, the position that they're going to guard just so they can see some brief tendencies. And then, you get to the afternoon, we usually practice around 2. And you usually got a study hall in there somewhere, some sort of tutor, some sort of meeting with somebody to work on a paper, go over a test, something like that. For about 80% of our kids, you're gonna have some sort of academic meeting with tutor, teacher, extra work by yourself, something like that. And you roll into practice. If we go at 2:30, most of our guys will be out on the floor 30 to 40 minutes before we actually start. And that's, again, getting up extra shots, bigs on their end, guards on the other. And then once 2:30 hits, we'll go into the locker room and watch film. And that'll be roughly 30 minutes, give or take, again, depending on if we're breaking down the game we just played or we're just doing the personnel or scout stuff on the team we're playing, or even both. And then, we go to the floor practice. Again, that varies when our next game is, day before the game, day after the game, how long we go. You'll wrap up practice around 5 o'clock. And then, our guys all go to up to the training room. That's really not an option. It's our new guys will come in. Oh, I'm fine. No, you need to go. Like ice bath, something, stretch. You need to go. Our juniors and seniors got to figure it out. They're in there every day. The guys have some wear and tear on their body. And then if we have a game the next day, then we'll go up to our little team meeting room lounge deal, and we order the food in, night before, whatever we want for pregame, before the night before we play our game, and whatever assistant has the scout, they'll go over about 15 minutes, just whatever else they want to touch up on the night before the game. And then we'll send the guys home, and they go to bed, and kind of repeat the same thing the next day. So it's time management. You have time in between. You may not think you do, but you do. It's just how you kind of manage it. And the main key is go to bed on time. Yeah. Just turn your phone off and go to bed. If you do that, you'll get up at a decent time. Then you won't have to go take a nap in between, and you'll have more time to get around and do some other stuff. So that's the biggest challenge with our new guys, is just go to bed, man. Go to bed no later than 11 o'clock. And that kind of will help, everything else, make it manageable the next day. But it varies, obviously, during the season, a lot going on. Right now, summertime, it's not near as hectic. Our hours are limited, so we only get so often with them. But during the season, it's a lot. You're traveling, you got class, you're missing class, you got to make up work, you're lifting, you go to the training room, you got a tutor. It is a lot, but it's part of it. And as the older you get, you figure it out. It's not that difficult, but just trying to manage your time is the biggest thing, especially for incoming freshmen.
Phil, I got one more question, man. It's basketball is your life. You're very successful in high school, very successful in college. Or did that just you just fall into that? Or are you living your dream right now?
Yeah, no, I basketball's been my thing. I played other sports in middle school, soccer, football. That soccer at one point was actually my main sport, probably up to 7th grade. But middle school, once it was just straight basketball. I mean, it was pedal to the metal, and I knew, I knew if I wanted to play at a college at the Division I level, I had to be able to shoot the ball. That's kind of where it started, and then I got a shooting routine basically in middle school where I would go to the gym and make 500 shots a day, all counted makes. Wasn't anything crazy, wasn't rocket science, but it was just doing them every single day. And it was moving spot to spot. It wasn't sitting there just one spot, stationary. Everything was elbow to elbow, wing corner, coming off some sort of screen, all game shots. That's how it started, and I just kind of ran with it.
You were making 500 shots
yeah,
a day.
Making.
God.
Yeah. Just makes. In the summer, it probably ended up getting up to close to 1,000 a day. If I was just in the summer,
you had something wrong with you, man.
Yeah, I was different. Yeah, I was different. Not many girlfriends when I was in high school either.
That's
wild. For sure.
Hey, so how what was the percentage you were shooting on 500 makes?
70% was always my goal. If I didn't get 70%, then I had to start over. And usually it was increments of 20. Go spot to spot, shooting 20.
They should have taken you for a brain scan, man.
Hey, yeah, I was different, man. I told you I was a little different. A little different.
You making my wrist hurt.
I was a little different, man. I was. Yeah, but that was.
So did you always
know
you wanted to coach?
Yeah. I remember. I was on my official visit at Oklahoma State actually, and Coach Forte was just asking me, "What do you want to do after college? You want to go play?" I had no dream of playing NBA. That was not my dream. I just, for whatever reason, I knew halfway at Christmas, my last year playing Oklahoma State, I was done. I knew it. And that's just always been my thing, my calling. I don't know. I love what I do. I wake up, I coach basketball. I get to help these kids try to, have success where I once was. And, I like it. I don't really view it as a job. It's like any job. It's not perfect. But I love it. I don't wake up thinking like, oh, I have to go to work. I get to be around basketball all the time. So, yeah, it's been great. That's kind of always what I've wanted to do, was get into coaching, and I did it right when I was done playing. I kind of knew that's what I wanted to get into. So it's been good so far. Just trying to take it one day at a time.
It's good, man. Hey, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Phil.
Like I've made it now.
A lot of questions. A lot of people wanted the answers to. I think it's good, and yeah, man, we really appreciate having you.
No, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And if you're ever up in the Lou, holler at me.
We got you.
We'll get you some barbecue. We'll take you up to the hill and get you some good Italian food. All right.